In the top right-hand corner of this Zerg versus Terran, playing for Team Air, it is Abathoor. And his opponent in the bottom left, also playing for Air, it is the new player, Blooddrop. So, let's have a quick look at this map, shall we? We've got a flat entrance to the natural, which is going to be entertaining. I do believe that makes it slightly more Zerg favored, I think. Odyssey was Bay, oh yes. So yes, we've got the wide open natural. I mean, it's wallable, as they all have to be. But there's no ramp into the natural. The thirds are alright. I'm wondering whether you could... I'm wondering how difficult it would be to defend the thirds. Whether you'd want to take this third, depending on, I suppose, depends on which race you are. Interesting. In any case, we are seeing the standard wall off. And it looks like you can just wall off with two square buildings next to each other, and yeah. I'm trying to think now what impact the lack of a ramp into the natural had, because I know that, like, it means that ranged units can shoot from further away. They don't actually need to breach the top of the ramp in order to be able to see over it and shoot. So that does make a difference. Of course, this is best of 3. So, in any case, let's have a quick look at the builds. We're looking at Hatch Gas Pool versus One Gate Expand, by the looks of it. Yep, Blooddrop feeling fairly secure. Not feeling particularly rushed. And yeah, coming in now is going to be able to see that, actually, yeah, the hatch went down first. The pool's nearly done. This might well be the third going down, which would be awkward. Nope. Okay. Couple of queens coming out, as you would expect. On this side of the map, I'm wondering where the peeping spot is, because it doesn't look like there is... No, there's one there, potentially. This could be a peeping spot right here. So that'd be interesting. Very nice, big, wide open main. Like, it pretty much takes up the entirety of the screen. Which means you do have to be a bit careful with your building placement, and also covering for drops and niduses and all that sort of jazz. Interesting. Speed coming up for Zerglings, partly for defense and, you know, because you have to. Partly because it's generally an important upgrade, unless you're going to skip it and go straight for Mass Roach. But that doesn't tend to happen very often. Tech choice for our Protoss player is going to be a Stargate. That's fair. Good choice. And the third's gone down for Zerg, because at this stage there's not really been anything to threaten it. This creep tumor, actually really important creep tumor. Usually queens come and drop this creep tumor rather than injecting, because they don't have the money to deal with the lava that they would end up with if they went straight for the inject. In any case, we're getting vision of the entirety of the base, so Abathoor's going to be able to see that there is, in fact, and in fact you can just see by looking at the building, you can see what's being made, and he'll know there's an oracle on the way. So he'll make spores. There they are. Good, good, good. Very nice. Okay. Let's see. Okay, well, the spores are up. The thing is, I mean, it's always difficult to put oracles in against Zerg anyway, because by default they have to make anti-air units. They have to make something that's good against oracles. A couple of lings coming out to scout around. There is an adept here. So the adept should be able to kill off 4 lings like this, primarily because they are coming in from the same side. There's a zealot there. Unfortunately, that's a zealot, not anything useful. I don't know, it makes a good wall. They're attacking a random dude out on the map. Okay. That is, in fact, why? Why would you even bother? They don't do anything. Actually, no, that's not true. I remember seeing one occasion I think it was, where one of those things blocked a ramp or something and someone couldn't put their unit there, so the enemy just ran straight through. Dear me. In any case, yeah. So, map has dips in the middle, low ground in the middle, and then, yeah, it comes up to the... It just means that there's a... I don't know, I'm not sure how much of a difference it makes that there is no ramp to the natural. Be interesting to see what statistics are on this map later. In any case, +1 and Blink coming up for our Protoss player. As it turns out, it's pretty good. Another Oracle. Interesting. We're looking at more than one Oracle. That one there. One's still at home. So we're looking at a serious commitment to Oracles, which is interesting. Because they don't do massive damage to Queens. Queens are not light. So if the Zerg could just keep an eye on where they are, and also bear in mind that Abathoor is currently accelerating ahead in the worker count. Like, there's no ambiguity about this. With Terrans involved, you have to factor in how many command centers they have, or rather how many orbital commands they have, because mules are not counted in your worker count down here. And also they count for like three and a half workers each anyway. A few roaches coming out, +1 for ranged. And he's going to kill this random critter on the map. Why? That's just APM you didn't need to spend, my dude. And it's going to drag your units halfway across the map. Wow. I've legitimately never seen anyone do that. There's another one, and it's going to die. Oh, no. This Artisilope might live. Artosilope. Artosilope. It might live. In any case, 4th base up, and 5th base on the way for our Zerg player. Protoss is still on 3 and is going across the map with some Stalkers and some Oracles. I'm genuinely curious about this, because the Oracles will do very well against the Roaches, I guess, because they can't shoot up. But if Abathoor just abandons his base temporarily, it's unlikely to die in the time. There's some Roach Ravager able to come in and help. The Queens can focus on the air units. The Zerglings can take out the Stalkers, even though they do have Blink at this point. That was just a pretty solid rebuttal right there. And now we're running into Abathoor putting on the the army printer and just making a lot of stuff. Roach speed's nearly done. Oh, that's a bad place to put those. That's a bad place to put the Morphin Ravagers. But none of them have died so far. Oh my god. How did he get away with that? How? What in the hell? Okay, so right now, Abathoor is pretty much at the state where, I mean, he could just move across the map and win at this point. Possibly not, but it would be difficult to see how he would lose just by having overwhelming force. Upgrades are about even. He's actually transitioning into Spire, which is a strange thing because you don't tend to go Spire versus Protoss. Phoenixes are really good. I don't know, maybe you do. Get some Corruptors out. Oh, and it's gone. There is a 4th base come up. But there's nobody at it yet, so it's only at this point. It's there, I guess. And we are seeing a shield battery because it turns out Protoss like being defended. Oh, hello. There's no Queens! There's no Queens, so the Oracles can just tear things apart until they run into the Queens. The thing is, right now, I think Abathoor's been held back by his own fear, I guess? He doesn't think he's ready to go in, when, realistically, he kind of is. Like, especially because right now Abathoor's going to have, by the time Spire's finished, if he just waits a few seconds, he can just make 10 Mutalisks. And that's going to be exciting and fun. But instead, he's just making a ton of Zerglings, which actually not the worst idea in this context. If you can get a surround with Lings on the Protoss army, it's getting harder to do that, and the gap is not as big as it was. And also, for some reason, the Zerglings do not have any upgrades. Uh-oh. Out they go, and the Zerglings are tangling with things that are bigger than them. Oh, nice attempt there. Zerglings trying to provide a meat shield for the Roaches, and the Oracles are going to do so much damage because the Queens are not in town. The Queens are not there. They need to be a part of this fight. And now he needs to go back in, but the Queens are getting hit directly by the Zealots. Not enough transfuses going down to keep them alive. Banelings are there, but like, oh my god, there are so many units not doing anything. And there's a lot of Protoss in town. Blooddrop's still down on worker count, on army count. Oh, sounds like we just had a follow of some kind. But I can't see what it is because I'm currently in the middle of things. 1 second. Okay, looks like actually Abathoor taking a lot of damage here, especially because there's dudes in his base. 18 workers have died already. And there's a basically fighting on several fronts as the Zerg army basically scrambles to deal with the attack that's coming in. The thing is, right now, The big deal here is that our Protoss buddy doesn't have anything that can realistically deal with this many Mutalisks. And he's making Stalkers, and that's nice and all, but at this point he really needs Phoenixes, and he's got the money to make them. There we go, there's a Phoenix coming out. The thing is, by the time he's got enough Phoenixes to really make a difference, it's entirely possible that Abathoor will have torn at least one of his mineral lines to shreds. Because you can do that with meters. That is, in fact, what meters are good at. That's what they're for. And also, double the army supply doesn't hurt. Here comes the slaughter of the workers. And now they use up their blink, they can't blink into the main. Okay, actually the shield battery overcharge is trying its best, but unfortunately it's not quite enough. Oh my god! Oh! Okay, so battery overcharge does save that Phoenix. I'm not sure why they're not just focusing on workers at this point. Because you can totally do that. And if the Phoenix gets too close, you just kill it. Don't stand and fight the Stalkers, no! Why? Oh, I tell you why, this is happening. So while the meters are dying, this entire base has been destroyed. And now the meters get to go back and back and back. The thing is, I like the fact that Abathoor killed that base and then pulled back. He killed the base and then left. Yep, one Stalker, not so great against that many meters, but a pack of them, yeah, that's pretty good. Unfortunately, while great success is being had against the Mutalisks, this is also happening. Like, it's looking pretty bad for Team Protoss at this point. The thing is, he's not out. The Banelings are getting far too good at connections now. Oh my goodness me. Yeah, at that point it is kind of over. You want to try and be dramatic about things, but when someone has 3 times the army supply... I don't know, man. I don't know. Why would you fight into ground units with mutas? No! No! Okay, the Oracle is going to die very slowly. Like, incredibly slowly. Like, it's gonna happen. Soon. There it goes. Thank you. Goodness me. But our Protoss buddy Blooddrop is doing his damnedest to re-establish his 4th base, getting himself some distinct lack of Thors in this game. Look, if neither Protoss nor Zerg player can work out the majestic nature of the Thor, that's not our fault. Abathoor, however, pulling back and basically giving his opponent reason to split his army. Right now, this wall is the only thing keeping this base alive. There's a few units next to it now, and that's fine, I guess. But oh my god, he's expanding to a what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th base. The 7th base for our Zerg player. And the thing is, Abathoor is maxed right now. Abathoor is maxed out. He's getting upgrades, and that's great. But the main thing he needs to do at this point is trade. Once you are maxed out, go trade with someone. That was an inefficient use of your dudes. This, however, is not. That was pretty good, actually. He forced a lot of APM out of the Protoss player, and he's still twice the army. Also, there's a Great Aspire just finished, so what's that all about? I love that. The Phoenix is just sitting there shooting at the Overseer. And unfortunately, it's not really good enough. Sploosh. Lots of sploosh there. Getting hit directly. And at this point, yeah, the meters can take part in the fight. Because they're not the only units in it. That's pretty nice. Meters raining down their version of splash damage on the ground. And the thing is, because the Stalkers are primarily shooting at ground units because they are closer, the meters are staying alive a lot longer than they otherwise would. I will give credit to Blooddrop. He's doing his damnedest to stay in this one. But unfortunately, I have a sneaking suspicion that Abathoor is going for Broodlords for a reason. And apparently that reason is he wants to make this closer than it needs to be. Okay. Yeah, it looks like... I mean, Abathoor is in A-move territory now. Abathoor has 5 times nearly the army supply. If he kills a single Zealot, he will have 5 times the army supply. And the Zealots are doing their damnedest to ignore the Banelings. Which is hilarious because Ah, there it is. GG. So, in the top left-hand corner, playing for Team Air, it is the Zerg challenging. Challenger? No! He's the Zerg champion at the moment. It's Abathoor! And his opponent in the bottom right-hand side, also playing for Team Air, it is his compadre, Blooddrop. Okay, let's have a zoom out and look around this map briefly while we can. Ramp... Is that a ramp down into the... That looks like a ramp down, yeah. Let's have a look on this side. Yeah, there's a ramp down into the natural again. Close on thirds. This is a tricky one to hold, though, because it's got multiple ways into it. Let's see. No gold bases? Not by the looks of it. Interesting. Okay. So, fairly normal map. Let's see what we're seeing here. Again, we're seeing the wall off. This is a slightly narrower wall off than the last one, which is fine. Protoss player gets a full-on Scouter-Rooney. No hidden bases at the back of this one. And I love the fact that Abathoor's basically stuck this Overlord here to try and see everything around here. Like, no buildings are going to go down in this base without something seeing it. Which is kind of important against Protoss, because the last thing you want to have happen is a goddamn cannon rush. Which, I mean, we know isn't going to happen. Like, you and I know that's not a thing that's going to happen, because we're looking at the build order. But this probe is being suspicious being where it is. Like, this probe right here is sitting in a position where it could just drop a pylon and everything would be fine. It'd be fine with that. But it isn't. And the thing is, Abathoor now knows this because he's gotten away across the map and has seen the fact that there is, in fact, a gateway up and not a forge. So we're looking at a forge, we're looking at a gateway expand, which is fine. Yeah, looking pretty good. Abathoor getting his second base nice and saturated. And again, Blooddrop's going to see that, but in a very cordial way is just going to leave. It's all good. It's all gravy. Baby. So, I'm kind of expecting that Abathoor, both players will choose this one as their third base. Well, I don't know, actually. There's a ramp there's a ramp down into the third, so maybe it would be better to take the one on the side. Rather than giving your opponent high ground vision, high ground access to the third, especially against Terrans. Having tanks here would be awful. Interesting. Okay. There's no wall here? Excuse me. Is this a wall? Is this not a... Oh no! It's not a wall. It's not even close to a wall. This is a terrible wall. That's really bad. The Zerglings are going to go straight into the main and see the Stargate, which so far isn't producing anything because I think because Blooddrop's a little bit busy. This is not a wall, my dude. You need a building here. And also, this guy needs to be in the wall. This could turn out incredibly painfully for Blooddrop if he doesn't fix that problem. Primarily because, like, all it takes is a few lings to... Hello. Reboot. All it takes is a small pack of lings running through this ginormous gap here. The thing is, Abathoor knows that there's no... actually, can he? Does that count as seeing closer now? Oh no, he can't see that there's nothing in the gap. However, he did just see that oracle, so... Ah, there we go, the gateway's been put in. It's all gravy, baby, but... On the other side of the map, there are no spores down. Despite the fact that Abathoor has seen the Stargate. Mayhaps he is relying on the fact that he's just going to have a ton of queens. Maybe? The thing is, he's seen the oracle. Like, he saw it. He can see it now.
New queen. Renda's here, and she's disappointed.
I love that line. I've not heard that one before. But no, he can see the goddamn oracles. Like, it's there. It's in your goddamn vision. You can see it, my dude. Just like they can see you. You can see them. Attuned. Where are the spores, my dude? The thing is, Abathoor right now is just going, like, I'm going to make more workers. I'm going to make more workers. Ah, there come the spore crawlers. And in a very real sense, I think waiting for this... What are we waiting for a third oracle? I'm wondering. I'm questioning. mean, they've got a lot of energy, so if they actually get over there before... Well, they can't get over there before the things finish. They will not outrace the spores. Question is, at what point... Oh, I was going to say, what point is Abathoor going to throw down his fourth? And there it is. The creep is starting to get good. Abathoor is doing a really nice job of that. Whereas on this side of the map, our Protoss buddy throwing down a couple of extra gateways. I mean, how many has he got in total now? 2 plus these 2. So that's 4. Ah. Okay, that's one way of doing it. You wall off with just some buildings that are going to be big and tough, and you're going to need them anyway. So you might as well put them there. You would not do this against the Terran. Because if you did this against the Terran, they would put a tank here and start bombing your mineral line. Which would suck. Because blocking it off like this would make it impossible to get rid of. So you've definitely seen... At this point, +1 and Blink and another Oracle. I do wonder what the point of the Oracle build is. Because so far they've not done that much. And somehow Abathoor is... I don't know, Abathoor 6 works ahead. If I pull up the income graph, it's favoring the Zerg a decent amount. Not a huge amount. Not the biggest amount in the world. There's enough queens here to fight this by themselves. As long as he actually notices and tells them to do it. And the queens can heal themselves and each other, so... Actually, no, they can heal each other, they can't heal themselves. How ironic. Yeah, the Oracle's gonna float around not doing an awful lot. The thing is, the Oracles have functions they could be performing. They could be dropping random stasis traps all across the map and just being incredibly irritating. But they are, for some reason, not doing that. The creeps being a little bit denied, but not enough to really make a difference, I don't think. And right now, Abathoor, again, is in the position where he has double the army supply. And okay, a decent amount of that is in queens. Like, he's got 9 queens, which I believe is something like 36 army supply by themselves. Uh-oh. Incoming pain train. Nobody saving them. And he's got vision. The problem is, Blooddrop's got vision of the enemy army that he can't do anything about. And Abathoor's just like, yeah, I have money. Whatever. So we're looking at... missile attacks complete for Zerg. He's getting a Baneling Nest up, and I feel like that would be better if there were more Zealots in the enemy composition. Rather than what's happening here, which is most... Well, a couple of Zealots and a lot of Archons. That's a painful amount of Archons. And this is where the Oracles can make themselves useful. But it's going to be tricky. Banelings are real, but it does take quite a lot of Banelings to kill a single Archon. Uh-oh, in they go. I don't think the Banelings are the best way of doing that, but hey, enough of them and it works. The Archon's getting sniped, and at this point, it's almost worth just pulling out. I don't know if Abathoor has enough stuff to be able to push through this chokehold. He's definitely losing a lot of stuff here. And now might be a time to retreat whilst you still can. That said, some very nice hits there. The queens are being sacrificed somewhat, but no, some of them are still alive! Oh my god! Somehow they're... Oh no, okay, the Lings... Basically, the Lings and the queens are being hotkeyed on the same hotkeys, so they're not pulling back in a methodical way. They're just... Oh my god, what is this? Abathoor? What in the hell was that? That was a swarm host that did nothing and died. Okay, right now this is looking pretty good for Blooddrop, actually. The Protoss units are pretty tanky. And there are no Banelings to take care of the massive amounts of Zealots. Is there another swarm host? There's one swarm host. There is one swarm host. Why? Why would you do that? I don't know, man. That just seems crazy. But hey. Abathoor surging forward. Finding the enemy. Hoping he can kite some of the enemy. A little bit of a split there to get a better frontage. Basically making sure that the Banelings don't go in on the Archon, against whom they are not that useful, when they are actually quite good against charge lots. I don't know. Like, I'm not sure who's winning this one. Because it seems like Abathoor's somewhat aimless with regards to his army and needs to print more units, basically. Whoa! Getting some juicy baneling hits there. Okay, getting some vision on the Zerg army is nice. Getting the creep back is also good. The Abathoor clearly has a hive because he's making this upgrade, which you only get at hive tech. An extra 20 DPS, 20% DPS on the lings, which is not inconsiderable. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, there's creep team is there, but he's not going for them for some reason. There are Hydras and now Lurkers on the field, which means that the Oracles could come into their own with regards to just being able to provide some form of detection. But against everything else in this army, they are pretty damn good. Unless you do that. Unless you walk straight into the enemy army and just let them kill you. There is also Storm. I think actually one of those Storms took out one of the Protoss units. Took out an Archon. That's not what you want. Oh, that one Lurker! That one Lurker only has 2 kills, but my god, they're spectacular kills. Now is not the time to be putting the creep back, my dude. Unless, of course, it's bait. Unfortunately, no. The Zerg army is quite significantly larger, which makes me wonder why he's being pushed back. Like, his upgrades are about the same and about to be the same? Also, going in with Lings against Archons seems questionable. Ah, the move commanding, why? I do have to wonder why there's move commanding involved. That said, the Protoss army being pushed back by sheer weight of meat. The sheer weight of the meat. One Swarm host is always a misclick. Yeah, but he had 2 Swarm hosts. So that must mean he made 2 misclicks. What? That lurker, can it be seen? Yes, it can. Unfortunately for the lurker, it is visible. And Abathoor needs to bury these lurkers if they're going to do anything at all. No! Why? Sweet merciful Zeus. Why? Oh, there's another Swarm host. How many Swarm hosts has he lost? 1. Okay, so he only made 2 so far. That's hilarious and awful. Ah! Okay. It's fine. It's fine. Right now, actually, I'm liking the fact that we're getting +3 weapons for Protoss. Cannons going down, presumably to defend an upcoming base. Yes, there we go. Although at some point... Oh, and double Stargate, and we're seeing the Golden Armada come together. We are seeing the beginnings of the Armada. But while that's happening, Abathoor's army is pretty big. If only the Banelings were at the front and not halfway towards the back. And the best thing is, part of the damage is going in on this is doing partial damage to Banelings which don't care. Locusts! Only 2 of them, but it counts for something, I guess. Abathoor not quite on top of where he's putting his biles yet. And the Swarm host is dead. The thing is, right now, Abathoor's taking some absolutely shocking trades, which he should not be at this point. Why are you shooting your own units? Oh no, he's not shooting his own units. Okay, he's not shooting his own units, there are zealots in the main, so to speak. In fact, there are zealots on this base. Oh, the Archon might not get away. It got away. I don't know how, but it did it. And he saves that base with 37 hit points left. 37! Dante would be shocked. Okay, I don't know who's winning at this point. It feels like Blooddrop should have a lot more stuff, though. Like, somehow Blooddrop having 4,500 minerals. Bear in mind that 100 minerals will get you a zealot, so that's 42 zealots right there. Hello! So, this is good. If the carriers can be kept secret for long enough, this could be a lethal push. The problem is, they need to be kept secret for long enough, and this may not be a thing when your opponents are coming in on your base like this. Especially... Lurkers? Question mark? The army's coming in to try and help. The problem is, I think the Lurkers can be seen. Oh, the Baneling strikes! And the detection means that the Lurkers are doing absolutely nothing. Beautiful trades by Blooddrop, actually. And now Blooddrop has the larger army. And I'm not counting the carriers because they don't exist yet. But it's looking pretty good for Team Blooddrop. His use of he's taken really good engagements for the entirety of the game, which is part of the reason why, despite the fact that Abathoor had a larger army than him for the majority of the game, I think. Yeah, he's had a larger army for most of the game, but now that's not the case anymore. The good trading that we're seeing from Blooddrop is actually paying dividends. Like, shareholders in Blooddrop Inc. are very pleased with the way that they're trading right now. GG, Abathoor's army can't fight anymore without its 2 generals. The swarm hosts were more important than we realized. Oh, God. What does that mean is going to happen now? Is he sunk? Like his colonies? Some more Archons coming up, because it turns out, I mean, let's be realistic here. Archons are pretty good versus Zerg. Turns out doing splash damage plus bonus versus bio is good when your opponent has a lot of small biological units. Who knew? Okay, so there's a couple. The thing is, the lurker count is not insignificant. The big problem with the lurkers is that there is an observer over this army, so they can be seen. They can just be seen. Storm! So much storm! My God! So much storm! Ah! And the Baneling is actually getting taken out by air units before they can do anything. And Abathoor, GG's. Wow, wow, wow. Beautiful game. Beautiful. Being in the top left-hand side of Neo-Humanity. I should probably put that on the thing. In the yellow pieces, it is as Abathoor. And his opponents in the bottom right-hand side, the Protoss with the Mostos, I guess. It's as Blooddrop. So it is a clan kill, and right now it's going down to the wire, so let's zoom out and have a quick look around the map. Ramp down to the natural, but no ramp at the natural itself. Very obvious where you're going to take your third on this map. Because this map, this is just too far forward and very hard to defend. There's a slow zone in the middle, I guess. Oh, hello, what is that? That looks like mineable minerals that you could mine out to get to another base. Or to break... Actually, no. You wouldn't be able to do that unobserved, I don't think. But that's really interesting. I've not seen that on a map before. That's going to be quite a thing. But the slow zone, there's a risky map which does have high yield gas. And on the sides here, we've got... that. We've got... yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Rich mineral fields. BB. So it's not going to take... it's only going to take 2 trips to mine each one of them out. So in theory, if you took 4 workers and mined 1 time each... Huh? Shout out to Maxos. Welcome back. Yeah, if you were to take 4 workers with you and just mine once, mine twice, mine once, mine twice, you could just break into their natural. Obviously, you can't do it secretly because anything in the natural should be able to see that. In any case, let's have a look at the... yeah, here we go. Natural build path. Standard opener for our Zerg player. The wall's coming up. Again, it would be really interesting to see where the wall has to be on this one. Like, you can tell that wall isn't there for the moment because the circles don't overlap. They just don't. And the peeping spot for this one... I wonder if that is actually a peeping spot. It might not be. It's really far in if it's a peeping spot. It's really far in. I do wonder. Okay, he's gone forward and scouted out the tech. There is a Twilight Council coming up, so I suspect shenanigans from Blooddrop on this one, actually. I don't know what those shenanigans are, but Abathoor hasn't seen it yet. Hasn't seen it yet. Hasn't seen it. Will he actually see it? He will not! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no, no, no! Okay, so we're looking at a robo coming up down here. There's a Twilight up here which has not been seen yet. And we're looking at Glaved Adepts. Ladles and jelly spoons. Bit of vision out on the map here with the Zergling. Actually, I like that. Abathoor's vision is not terrible. The problem is, oh, he's seen the twilight and he's seen it twirling. So it's one of a couple
Queen's
of things.
all done. Good choice.
It's one of a couple of things.
Your swarm is now bigger and broodier.
That's an amazing line. Yeah, so basically, at this point, it's up to Abathoor to decide whether he thinks it's going to be Glaive Adepts or Blink or Charge. Which is kind of, like, in a very aesthetic sense, I like the fact that that each one of the 3 gateway units has an upgrade. The thing is, right now, the warp prison's being made. I mean, at some point, presumably, we're going to see an explosion of gateways. Slightly unfortunate that Abathoor can A, see that, and B, is just there. Like, he's there. And the fact that there's no Stalker coming to shoot him down presumably means he's not expecting Blink. So it's either going to be Charge or Glaives. Yeah. I don't know. Like, I don't know. The thing is, Abathoor has the capacity to see some of this stuff before it hits him. Okay, he's definitely seen the warp prism, and he's seen these guys coming through as well. So now he knows he's getting hit by Glaive Adepts. The question is why is he making drones? Interesting. Okay, that's fine. Army supply-wise, Abathoor's doing okay. He's got his queens. The problem is that the Adepts will just shade past them. Okay, transfuses are good. And then he cancels the shade and just goes to the other base because this is what Adepts are for. Okay, the Roach Warren is done. Out come the Roaches. Oh wait, nope. Abathoor is supply blocked. Blooddrop is also supply blocked, but on a significantly lower number. Okay. Abathoor being kind of put into shambles here, really. And yeah, cancelling that one. The Adepts are getting killed. Slowly. There are 13 Roaches on their way out, though. So if Abathoor can hold this, he's not in a terrible position. Why the move? Come on! F2 and A move at this point. Okay, that one Adept will die before they get to shade out. And the rest of them will shade into the third, where the workers are going to die. 16 drones have gone down now. Abathoor actually losing quite a lot of stuff because his army isn't in the right place. That said, it's really hard to do against. It's actually really hard to do that. Yeah, that base is going to live. Just. In they go, into the natural. And this isn't even the most irritating Blooddrop could be being right now. Technically speaking, Blooddrop, oh my god, 39 workers go down. The thing is, right now, if Abathoor kills these off, and he's just sending the Roaches into the third to finish the deal. Will they kill the third base? Yes, they will. Only just, but they did it. So right now, Abathoor has the advantage that he could just go and attack. His opponent has just thrown away his entire army. So Abathoor can just go across the map and cause some pain. While he rebuilds behind it, I guess. I don't know, he needs to take the queens with, actually. That could be exciting and fun. Abathoor with, yes, a Wiseman in the chat saying, how horrifically timed supply block. The thing is, both players were supply blocked at the same time. But Blooddrop was supply blocked on higher numbers, basically. And didn't lose as much, which is the key thing. There's a few Immortals out, so that's pretty good against the Roaches. The Roaches are probably about to find out how good the Immortals are against them. And unless, of course... Oh no, the Immortals aren't leaving, that's fine. Although this is going to be really, really funny if somehow he just lofts the Roaches into the main. Don't worry about stopping. Okay, yeah, killing that guy off. And forces the Immortals to come back all the way to the main, because he could go and kill off a bunch of workers with this. Nope, Blooddrop takes game number 3.